All right, here goes Twiz 12 study guide. Number 1 asks, all right, what is a cubic polynomial function in standard form with zeros? If it's got zeros, 2, 3, and negative 2. Zeros are 2, 3, and negative 2. If those are the zeros, then the factors were x minus 2, x plus 3, and x plus 2. Sorry, that's a x. That should be a minus 3. That's a minus 3 right there. So what you're supposed to do now is you're supposed to multiply all this out and then write it in standard form, which means exponents in order from left to right, decreasing in value. So x minus 2 times x minus 3, we know from factoring that that would be x squared minus 5x plus 6. And then it's got to get multiplied by the x plus 2. And then this is just a big distributive property. X squared times x is x to the third. X squared times 2 is 2x squared. Negative 5x times x is negative 5x squared. Negative 5x times 2 is negative 10x. 6 times x is positive 6x. And 6 times 2 is 12. And then you need to combine your like terms. So we end up with an x to the third minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. And then number 2, same thing, but it's got 4 factors. So your factors would be x minus 2, x plus 1, and then an x minus 1, and another x plus 1. These two binomials, the first two binomials would multiply to x squared minus x minus 2. The second two binomials would multiply to x squared minus 1. Your two terms, your plus 1 and your minus 1, would eliminate each other in the middle. So now distributive property, x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. And then x squared times negative 1 is negative x squared. Negative x times x squared would be negative x to the third. Negative x times negative 1 would be positive x. Negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times negative 1 would be positive 2. So then order and combine like terms. So we're gonna have an x to the fourth minus an x to the third minus x squared minus a 3x squared plus an x plus a 2. All right, number 1 on the short answer asks you to classify by degree. If I remember correctly, by degree is by the highest value of the exponents. And when we're using exponents and we're to the 5th, by degree, this would be quintic. And that's in your notes. You did a little chart back when we covered that material. And then number 2, you're classifying by number of terms. And that polynomial there has 4 terms. So that would be a polynomial of 4 terms. That's in your notes as well, if you're awake that day. Some people may have been sleeping. It would be on the internet. You got a 5x squared times a 5x squared plus 3x to the 3rd. And you need to write it in standard form. So you're going to do the distributive property. You're going to multiply right here, and you're going to have 25x to the 4th. And then you're going to multiply right here. That's going to be positive 15x to the 5th. Multiply the numbers in front, add the exponents. But in standard form, your highest exponent goes first. So this has to be reordered to 15x to the 5th plus 25x to the 4th. Number 4 is 4x to the 3rd minus 4x squared minus 120x. You're asked to write it in factored form. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to factor out an x, and you're going to factor out a 4x. Every term has a 4x in it. So here's a 4x. And then this would be x squared minus x minus 120x divided by 4x. What is that, 30? So 30. And then we can factor this trinomial. So we get 4x out here times, this is x minus 6 times x plus 5. So there it is in factored form. Same directions for 5. I'm factoring out an x first, so we get x squared plus 8x plus 15. I'm going to say that's 5 and a 3. So we got x times x plus 5 times x plus 3. Six, 7, and 8 ask you to divide. And I don't know about you, but I'm not doing long division on those problems. I would just do synthetic division on all those. Much simpler, faster. So number 6 would look like this, and then we got a 4 and a 1 and a -1 and a -3. The key to this division is to make sure that your exponents are in descending order, and if you're missing a power, that you insert a 0. If you're missing a power, you insert a 0. So we go like this. We bring down the 4. -2 times 4 is -8. You add. It's at -7. You get 14. You get 13. You get -26. And you get -29. So this looks like the quotient would be x squared minus 7x plus 13 with a remainder -29. And you got to do 6, 7, and 8, and then you got 9, 10, and 11. They're all the same. I'm going to do 11. Ooh, that's a big old number. Here's what you got to be careful of on a problem like 11. You're dividing that x plus 5, so we put a -5 out here. And look at your powers. The 16 is x to the third. Then the next number is a constant. There's nothing squared, and the 4x is over there on the right, so they're not in order. So just make sure you put the numbers in order when you divide. So first goes the -16. Second would be x squared, so there's a 0 for that. Third would be your x, that's a 4. And then last would be the -1980. And here we go. Bring down the -16. -5 times 16. Is that 80? All right. 80, and then 0 plus 80 is 80. And then -5 times 80 is -400. And this would be -396. 396 times 5. 1980. So that's a remainder of 0. So your quotient would be -16x squared plus 80x minus 396. All right, 12 and 13, you're going to use synthetic division again, but here's where you got to be careful. I'm going to do number 13. On number 13, you got to be careful for two things. If you look at number 12, your P of x is equal to x to the fourth, and then you got a 7x to the third, and then you got a -3x squared, you got a -3x, you got a -4. You got all your exponent values represented. In number 13, though, you don't have an x squared in there. So again, you've got to fill in. Now, when you're using synthetic division to evaluate a function, the number itself goes outside the box, not the opposite. So the 2 goes here. And then we got a 1. For the x to the third, we got the 2. For x squared, it's not there, so we got to use a 0. For the x, we use an 8. And then the -8. And then we draw a line That's the hard part right there, drawing that line and then bringing down this 1. All right, so 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8, and 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 8 plus 16 is 24. 2 times 24 is 48. Negative 8 times 48, or I'm sorry, negative 8 plus 48 is 40. So your P of 2 is equal to 40 for number 13. All right, I would suggest that you do the other problems that I didn't do on your own. Get a little bit more practice before your quiz tomorrow. The answers are on the back so that you can check them. You e-learners, at this time you are done. I will upload your quiz shortly, and if you want to take it today or tomorrow, that's your prerogative. But at this time, you're excused from this meeting, and I'm going to end the meeting if you guys don't have any questions.